Okay, so when I was in the Montgomery County Jail, 2018, for shooting my white baby daddy in self-defense, I was pregnant, still carrying the same pregnancy, was tortured, and I had spiritual visitations from celebrities that knew that I was in a jail cell pregnant and that they were torturing me, or they knew about it once I got out, and they know they're trying to kill me right now. So I'm going to go into this quickly. Natalie Portman was doing spiritual visitations on me in the jail cell, and she was showing me herself butt naked and kissing and having sex with a white male, and it was almost like she was trying to entice me to be a Satanist. And afterwards, the people in the cell, in the jail, tried to get me to denounce Jesus Christ and Jehovah and worship white women and white men and the devil who is white. So I know that had a lot to do with why they were showing me Natalie Portman, but it's very racist for them to be trying to kill a pregnant black woman in America because they let me out of the jail cell after 11 months starved, and then said they was going to change the evidence to the case. And so Kim Kardashian was another white woman that did spiritual visitations on me in the jail cell. And when she came, Kim Kardashian first was coming like she was trying to like be on my baby daddy's side, like trying to make it seem like he was not abusing me, like I was the crazy black woman. And then something about her was going to try to get him famous or something on her Instagram, or something about his Instagram or whatever, and he was attacking me, and I'm a pregnant black woman. And then so I had a vision of her again, like being a very messy person and just trying to take all the shine from her sisters all the time to where they can't even have a birthday. And then I had seen another vision of her. It was showing some black men coming to want to talk with her about the truth about the Andrea Jones case, and wanted to know what rumor or what lie was she gonna spread about my pregnancy and about my baby daddy. They was like, they found out the truth that he was abusing me and that I'm pregnant and that he was abusing my son, 22 months old, and they were gonna set me up to be murdered and killed out in the streets pregnant, and then let him be famous, and then these people threatened to rape and molest my son, and they done took my son from me. And this woman was doing a visitation, her sister, I think this is Kendall Jenner. I seen her doing a visitation, and something about her being overshadowed constantly all the time, to where it's sickening to the Holy Spirit to see everybody in her family like Kendall being overshadowed because of Kim, her fame and her fortune. And I'm just telling you what the Holy Spirit showed me about Kendall's birthday or something like that, and not being celebrated the way that she's supposed to, that she should have been celebrated. And then I seen Clifford, Tiny husband, Clifford Harris, T.I. He was doing spiritual visitations on me in the jail cell while they had me back there. And T.I. character was very sinister, very demonic, as if God had his hand on him for a long time to be with him and deliver him, but that he just had become very corrupt and very wicked. And he knew that they had me back there pregnant, and he knew that they was poisoning me, starving me. I was protecting myself, but because my baby daddy was white, everybody was gonna act like they didn't know what was going on. And I seen when I started telling about the spiritual visitations and then what the Holy Spirit was saying against the witches, then T.I. and his wife came to me, and T.I. was saying, oh, I spilled the milk, oh, I had a big mouth, and about the spiritual visitations. So I had a spiritual visitation of his wife, Tiny Tamika Cottle, and she was in the group Escape. And when Tiny and T.I. came, he came when he said that I was telling a lot about the spiritual visitation, basically that I had a big old mouth. And then Tiny was saying, what was your baby daddy in prison for? And we was by ourselves. I was seeing all the black men different black men that own land, and I said he's in prison. He was in prison for assault. And then she just kind of got quiet, like, damn, that's fucked up that they back here trying to poison your pregnancy and kill you and take your baby and threaten to rape your baby. And then he just got out of prison for assault. And then the Holy Spirit was kind of like, well, time to get a pass right now in the spirit because of her not being wicked to me and asking me what was he in prison for. And then little mama, I had a spiritual visitation from her, and little mama had tried to make me feel bad about my body, and she was saying, oh, you fat, and trying to show off her body and just dancing and stuff all in the visitations, trying to show off her dancing skills and saying that I was fat, and I'm pregnant, and I was pregnant in the cell, and she said I was fat and that I was not pregnant. Well, she didn't say I was not pregnant, but she said I was fat. Everybody knew that I was pregnant, and they know that I'm pregnant right now, and I'm telling on everybody because they're trying to set me up to be killed. And I don't appreciate this white woman taking my son and threatening to molest and rape my son as retaliation and going through the courts, and then having other people setting me up outside to be murdered while I'm trying to get my baby back from her. Now, Forrest Whitaker, he was very sinister. Forrest Whitaker had come to me in a spiritual visitation with Chris Tucker, and I don't know if it was some of the Migos or not, but I remember Chris Tucker for sure. And when he was in the visitation, we was in his house. I was in the jail, but we was in his house, and he had looked at me and said something homosexual, like, oh, I'd rather have sex with your baby daddy, or something like that. We'd rather keep him, the white man, and was talking sexual, than keep you, and even threatened me like with death or something like that, for telling that they were going to try to set me up to be killed and keep my white baby daddy alive because of some homosexual stuff that go on in Hollywood, and that they wouldn't want me, they'll want my baby daddy, the white boy, the white man. And then so I seen Chris Tucker, and Chris Tucker was there when Forrest Whitaker had showed up for the visitation. And Forrest Whitaker had said something very wicked, and Chris was just kind of standing there in the midst of it all, like pretty much knowing what's going on, but he just was kind of like, you know, hey, you know, like I know what's going on, I'm in the mix of the shit, you know, that's how he was. But Forrest Whitaker was doing all the talking, and it wasn't like Chris Tucker stood up for me or anything, and with what they trying to do to me. I just want to let it be known that he know who Andrea Jones is, because he was doing spiritual visitations on me when I shot my white baby daddy, and they had me trying to murder me in the cell. And that's wicked as hell, I believe, because when they let me out of the cell, I was tortured with a baby inside of me for 11 months. And so Will Smith did a visitation on me after I had gotten out of the Montgomery County Jail. They had me in homes with gang members, and these men were trying to force me to have sex with them, and trying to set me up like I was not pregnant. They was trying to starve me, and I was running away from certain men. And I had a vision of Will Smith, a spiritual visitation, where he was like a cyborg black man. And he had pretty much in the vision, he had half of his body was a robot, half of it was a man. And he was stomping, trying to get to me out of this cyborg unit. And it was like him trying to hide something. One of his family members had come to me, very young child, and tried to talk to me sexually. And I told him he was too young. And that's when I seen Will Smith. And then I seen Donald Trump. He came in the vision when I was in, being that I'm black, this is very important because Donald Trump is white. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on behind these people talking about white power in America. They done took my baby and threatened to rape my son. They trying to set me up to be murdered right now on Memorial Drive and everywhere I go in Atlanta, Georgia. They got a black man following, walking up on me right now, and I just had to cross the street. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump, I seen a vision of him, and he had, Donald Trump had seen me, and I was telling about they tried to throw me off, the black man that they had following me, because everybody know who I know about my case. Before I get to Mila Kunis, I'm gonna hurry up and tell y'all about Donald Trump. I seen Donald Trump trying to have a meeting with somebody at a dinner, and I walked up. They were trying to set me up to be killed in Henry Brown House at 9035 Tite Street. They were trying to take me to a satanic ritual death to let white women witches kill me and have black officers bring me in to be murdered for no reason, for being pregnant and for telling the truth about my case and shooting a white man in self-defense. And so God told me that he couldn't deliver me, Jehovah. And Donald Trump was having a meeting with somebody and tried to hurry up and pull out in some navy blue car, and the Holy Spirit told me to film it, that Donald Trump know about it and was trying to have meetings with somebody about Andrea Jones, and then was trying to hide from me in the spirit. And then so I seen a vision of Mila Kunis when I was in the jail while they was starving me, and then somebody had her on a talk show, and they was trying to say they need to put me in prison, and Mila Kunis had seen my stomach and started crying because somebody was asking her questions about my stomach. And then so being Affleck, I had a vision of him, and the vision that I had of him was with a man named CJ that I know from Magnolia, Texas, that I met Austin through. And CJ knew that Austin was abusing me. Everybody, all my friends knew that Austin was abusing me, and I saw CJ acting gay and shaking his butt, and Ben Affleck was outside of the house with a big old Tommy gun, like a big old army gun, like he was trying to intimidate me with a big old gun, pregnant black woman, for protecting myself and my little boy from a little convicted felon that come in attacking me because I shot a gun. And then I seen them acting gay in the house, the black men, my black friend, and God was like, God is watching while y'all down there shaking y'all butt for them white men being out there with guns trying to hurt Andrea, and y'all out there shaking your butt. And then I had vision of Quavo, and I think he was one of the men that I seen shaking his butt. And then God was like, if they out here shaking their butt with these women, he was like, next thing you know, they're going to be out there sucking dick. That's what God said. And then so I had visions of Quavo in the jail when they had me back there, and Quavo was trying to say, something about them making me smoke cigarettes, and then saying that the cigarettes was going to break the yoke that the baby was in. And I wasn't even smoking no cigarettes, and I didn't realize at the time that they was trying to curse me because they keep having people coming around smoking cigarettes in front of me and won't give me medical care and trying to have me smoking. And so I had another vision of Quavo, something about them talking about the Illuminati, and something about a baby, something about people asking for money, or something like that after they shows. And I had the same vision to take off as well, but I had another vision of Quavo after I had got out, when they had me in Luther Landa Apartments with Marcus Mitchell trying to set me up to be killed after they staged for me to be put out of the shelter out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Quavo was basically like he'd been around the world, and that I had seen something different in him around that time. Maybe he had changed a little bit, but Takeoff, I had been seeing visions of Takeoff before all of this stuff even happened. Don't know what that was about, but I seen the visions of him just knowing that I was pregnant and being abused in the back of the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas, for shooting a white man. So they knew that I shot him, and they basically were just like, fuck it, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do to Andrea, and we're not gonna come forward with the evidence to her case. And these white people done took my little boy that I was protecting during the shooting and threatened to rape him with gang members and give him AIDS and herpes, and nobody's standing up for me. They letting them starve me outside pregnant with the baby from the jail, with all the black people trying to set me up to be killed. And so I had a vision of Sweetie out here recently at a man's house, and they done ran me from the train station trying to stage altercations where I probably would have left the east side, and they trying to set me up to be murdered outside because everybody knows she shouldn't be out there pregnant like that. But it's okay, they don't have a heart. So anyway, Saweetie was telling me, came to me in the vision, telling me the man whose house I was in would give me some money if I had sex with him. And I was hungry and all of that old kind of stuff. So I ended up having to have sex with the man. And that's why the woman put me out the shelter, because the white people wanted it to look like from the time that I got out of the jail that I was a prostitute and not a mother that was protecting myself and my child. And they wanted them to tear me down to try to make me out to have to be a prostitute as a retaliation, to try to force me to have sex with the same people in the country that threatened to rape my little boy and that left a baby in me, and they're still trying to kill it, and then you forcing me to have sex with them for food. And that's why I keep telling that they are raping me, because I don't want to have sex with none of these nasty people. I want my son, and I want my apartment, and I want my medical care, and I want my car, and I want everything that you done took, everything you done stole, and I want my little boy alive. And I had a vision of Missy when they tried to take me to the satanic ritual death at Henry Brown house. He told me I could stay there, swarmed up on me in the car, setting me up, tried to tell me he could rent a room for me in his house, and then tried to set me up to be killed by a black police officer, taking me to be murdered by white women, and for the shooting, trying to retaliate. So I heard the voice of Curtis 50 Cent when my auntie Barbara had told me she would help me, and she brought me down to Little Rock, Arkansas from Texas. She had got me a ticket, or I got me a ticket somehow, and they all swarming up on me in cars right now. Get the fuck out my motherfucking way. They all in my fucking way. All in my fucking way. Get the hell on. So anyway, that's what Curtis was telling me they was going to do. When I was at my auntie house, God said we was leaving Egypt. When Marcus Mitchell tried to set me up to be killed at Luther Landing with all the women in the apartment, God said that we was leaving Egypt. And then so God told me again something about Egypt. And my auntie Barbara had said I could come from Texas. She seen I was putting it on my YouTube channel. And I had a vision from Curtis because my auntie was trying to set me up in Little Rock, Arkansas. And 50 Cent had said that something about, he was rapping something about murder, that everybody was going to try to murder me for protecting myself in America, that they were going to have all the black women out there like slaves on a plantation trying to talk about war from my auntie house, and that it was a setup. And then I had a vision of T.D. Jakes with Princess Love and Yandy when I was in Houston, Texas, telling about my visions that I was having a Beyonce and Solange. I had visions of him, and he has came and put a star on me that had a little pole attached to it, and something went into my hand that came out of something that he was holding, and it almost looked like where those fairies have those little things that they can do magic with, like a wand. And then he put something into me, and then I had a vision of Kaylani when I was in the jail when they was trying to murder me, and the man Jason Lee, the one off Love and Hip Hop, the light-skinned one. I had a vision of them trying to like change my hair, and people trying to come up on me with guns and talking about, oh hey Andrea Jones, I heard a lot about you, and they got a pistol on their hip. Like, what is you trying to come up on me with a pistol on my hip? Have I ever came up on you with a pistol on my hip? I ain't never came up on none of you niggas with no pistol on my hip. I shot a gun for the first time in my life protecting myself. So who the hell is anybody to come up on me with a gun talking about, I heard a lot about you? Oh, you heard that I'm pregnant, and you heard that he was attacking my baby, and you heard that I protected myself and that I'm black? Oh, okay, you can back the fuck up with your gun. And so I had the vision of Kaylani, because that's wrong, and no black man needs to be trying to come and intimidate me before protecting myself. And then so Kaylani was crying, talking about, oh, tell her the truth about who we are, because black men kept trying to lure me into places in the vision and set me up to be killed. And then so Kaylani was like, tell her the truth truth about who we are, and they were scared of the white people. And I know why they scared of them, because they done took my baby and threatened to rape my son, and then got me out here with a baby still up in me, denying me medical care, having everybody in the whole country leave me outside and try to terrorize me. So they was over there talking about they was scared of the white people. And then it was a black man telling her to be quiet. And then I went to her like, what's wrong? She was like, tell them why they after them, because they know who we are. Because I know they worship the devil. Because I know they worship the white man and the white woman. And because I know Satan is white. And because I know that they worshiping the beast of Revelations, the 666. Oh, here come the ambulance trying to make noise because I'm telling the truth about what's going on. Hell now, when you set my baby up to be raped, when you set me up to be outside pregnant and starved for protecting myself, I go ahead and tell the truth, because we ain't shit. But let me go on ahead and tell the truth. So they worshiping the 666, and Kaylani was screaming, and she was screaming, and the Holy Spirit made me walk up to Kaylani and say, are you okay? And she just looked at me. And so Sierra, I'm not even going to really say I had a visitation of Sierra, because I did not. Sierra walked up on me out here in Atlanta on Peachtree Road while these white people had me walking all the way from Colony Square. They done tried to starve us over there and everything when I had money, closing down restaurants. I done walked 9 goddamn miles to get back to Lenox, where they done tried to bring me to a location talking about they were trying to help me get in the shelter, and the shelter was trying to starve us. And she walked past me with her boyfriend. And at first I thought, oh, okay, that was cool. Maybe that's black women finally standing up like, hey, we see Andrea Jones out there. We know she out on over YouTube. We know she pregnant and she need help. This lady is a damn millionaire. Did not offer us no money. Did not offer us a ride. Walked past me and got some clout on my motherfucking channel. So the reason why I'm going on ahead and say Sierra no, because you walked right past me while they were doing the gang shit to me out here in Atlanta, and I'm pregnant. And that's dead ass fucking wrong, because they ain't stopped fucking doing the shit. So anyway, Jay-Z. I had a vision of Jay-Z when I first had shot the gun. I was in the room. They were trying to pay me out to be a mental patient. And I had a vision of Jay-Z holding a white wedding dress. And I was like, because I ain't getting married to nobody but Christ. And ain't nobody finna die about it. I don't know what kind of witchcraft shit it was. I don't know, but I seen him holding a wedding dress. And then I had seen a vision of him trying to pull out a 38 on me in the apartment building or something like that, some kind of handgun, and try to pull the trigger. And I was like, what the fuck? And the trigger got stuck. And then I just ran. And I was like, hold on, did Jay-Z just try to pull a gun and shoot me for shooting a white man in self-defense, and I'm a pregnant black woman? And so everybody trying to cover up my pregnancy in America, like, oh, they just got so much money, or they just don't give a fuck, about me. My case ain't, I'm not a big enough person for them to care. And this was the man named Solo Lucci off of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. He came and did a spiritual visitation while they had me in the back of the Montgomery County Jail, trying to set me up to be murdered and pregnant, and then trying to take my son and threaten to rape and molest my son. And then Lucci had came to me and was like, oh, you shot a white man in America. He was like, you fucked up. Like, you fucked up. And then the Holy Spirit was like, hold on, you not even looking at the evidence of her case to be talking about, oh, she fucked up. But see, they worshiping white people. They worshiping the devil. So that's just how they feel. So God was like, no, she was protecting herself and her son. Oh, so you're not going to look at that part. You're not going to look at that she was protecting herself and her son. Or you just going to look at, oh, a white person got hurt. That's all you going to look at. Oh, okay. So that's what he said. So I guess he okay with them taking my little boy and threatening to rape and kill my little boy as retaliation for me shooting a white man. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, so they could just rape my baby and lie and have me on the streets. Okay. So this is Daniel Radcliffe, and I had a visitation from him as well when I was in the Montgomery County Jail. David Radcliffe basically came to me in the same vision with Madonna, when Madonna had tried to feed me some pizza, and you can hear about that in part 1, I believe, or part 2, probably part 2. Yeah, it's gonna be part 2. And he basically was like, oh, you looked good on YouTube or something like that. Or he was like, you don't look the way that people was trying to portray you to look or something like that. And I didn't even know anything about me having a YouTube channel because I was still in the jail. But the Holy Spirit, I believe something was involved with that. And I really didn't get too many bad vibes from Daniel Radcliffe, other than the fact that he knew about it and he knew what they were back there doing to me. So I got a bone to pick with everybody, you know what I'm saying, that know about it, and that's gonna let me keep on screaming, and I'm pregnant, and they done did this to me and my baby up in that damn jail cell, and Daniel Radcliffe know about it because he did spiritual visitations on me. So Solange did it as well when I was in the Roadway Inn Suites in Texas, in Houston, Texas. And you know, her and her sister are from Houston, Texas. So then the Satanic Church worship white people. So all the white people in the country knew that a white man was shot. It traveled through the grapevine, and Solange was doing visitations, dancing and celebrating, trying to show off her little dance moves and how cute she looked, while these people trying to set me up to be killed in Texas. And it's like they just wanted it to be funny to be doing spiritual visitations on me, and I was pregnant, and they would deny me into all of the women's shelters in Texas. And then that's forcing me outside where people was trying to set me up to be killed. And somebody ended up paying for a motel room for me, and when I fell asleep, I had got spiritual visitation from Solange. And it was not like God was like, Andrea looked just as cute with makeup on. And so CeeLo Green, I did not have no like spiritual visitation from him that I know about. Excuse me, I had to burp a little bit. But CeeLo Green was at the Colony Square here in Piedmont, Buckhead, Midtown area in Atlanta, Georgia. And they was trying to stage stuff because I had been there before, showing myself there on my YouTube channels. And every time I'm on my way somewhere, they had be setting stuff up. And they done set CeeLo up there to be sitting in the middle of this courtyard where they was starving me in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. And he was laughing and he and ha-ha with other black men that's trying to set me up to be killed. And because they all trying to do it in Atlanta, they trying to do it in the entire country, all of the black men. And he watching them deny me food in the restaurant, and I had the money. And they was over there being racist, talking about let white people get in front of me and stop me and my baby from getting anything to eat, and then making us walk miles because I shot a white man in self-defense. And I had got him on camera doing it and put him on my YouTube channel. And then so Dwayne Wade, he did spiritual visitation on me in the jail cell where they was trying to murder me and this baby that I'm carrying that's still alive. And he had came to see, like in the vision, he tested me to see like what I would do if he tried to attack me. And I said I was gonna call the police, and he ran. And then so that was the only spiritual visitation. I seen something else about my ethnicity and some other stuff about him in the future, but I don't really want to go too much into anything about Dwayne Wade because it's not really clear. I know that I seen him around the time that everybody was doing the spiritual visitations on me, and I know what I did see. And so anyway, there was something else about my hair being very long or something like that, and something about singing praise to Jehovah, and Dwayne Wade and Beyonce and all these celebrities not really singing praise to Jehovah and dedicating none of their voices or talents to Jehovah, and that God is a jealous God. And I had a vision of Lil Boosie. The first vision that I had of Lil Boosie was basically him knowing that I was of God, and knowing about the shooting, and then figuring out that I was of God, and things kind of switching up a little bit after that, and me kind of being dropped off in the arena of the greats like T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar, you know, where I could have my own congregation on some mega church type stuff. And then I ended up seeing a vision of him. And I had a studio visitation where I was in the studio with some celebrities and I heard him on the track. And then recently I had a vision of Lil Boosie doing sexual stuff with black women, talking about Black Lives Matter, while these people over here trying to set me up to be murdered and starving my baby in Atlanta, Georgia, like they over here wearing Black Lives Matter shirt and having sex and setting me and my baby up to be killed, and I'm black, and setting my little boy up to be raped by white people, and then me murdered and left on the streets pregnant, and then they gonna have sex in Black Lives Matter outfits doing witchcraft, and then trying to basically tempt me to get upset about it. So Tyrese Gibson, I had a visitation from him singing that a man would never keep me warm again because I shot Austin when I was in the Montgomery County Jail while they was trying to murder me for protecting myself. and they was poisoning my pregnancy, and they was taking my baby and said they was gonna rape him. And Tyrese had did a visitation on me being wicked, and he said, oh, that's why you ain't never gonna have a man again, and you gonna be cold because the way we finna set you up out there. And Jehovah been with me, so I don't need a man then, because God said I was protecting myself, and I'm out here pregnant. And then so I had a visitation of mulatto when I was out of the jail in Luther Landing Apartments, and I think she in Atlanta too. So Luther Landing Apartments, they got gang members all follow me up the road. But anyway, Luther Landing Apartments, where Marcus Mitchell was trying to set me up to be killed. There was another man named LaMarcus Sanders in Texas that had tried to set me up to be killed. And I had a vision of mulatto walking around in a thong around some slave house. Like that was supposed to be something to make me feel bad about myself and make me feel bad about being starved and pregnant because I was brown skinned and because she was high yellow walking around in the thong. And I was like, whatever, my skin is my heritage, and God called me queen. And just because I'm not yellow bone don't mean people can sit over there and try to starve my pregnancy because I ain't light skinned like you. So anyway, I had a vision about Trey Songz. And this was when a man named Gully and Woody tried to set me up to be killed from their house, 116 Peachtree something. It's on my channel in Riverdale. And when the man had led me from Lakewood, Fort McPherson train station, when they was first trying to set me up to be murdered out here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I recorded it, and the man told me I could stay the night there with him. And then in the middle of the night, he tried to put me out of the house with no bus fare and make me walk from Riverdale. And I asked him not to do that. And Trey Songz came singing to me and said, don't look back, just run and don't look back. And showed me a flood and my son, because they kept flooding in Houston and it was Egypt. And then he showed me and my son. And these people done took my baby and threatened to rape him. And I ain't never seen my son again. And then I had to run from their house. And that was the visitation that I had of Trey, so I know he know. I had a spiritual visitation from Mary, and I was just pretty much writing gospel songs in the cell, and I had a vision of me writing gospel songs with them or for them, helping them write gospel songs. But I know that they must know something about my pregnancy if I had a spiritual visitation with them, or they gonna know about it, or it may be the aftermath. But the people know about my pregnancy and they not coming forward with the information. So anybody that I done seen in the spirit that's in high places, then I'm going to go on ahead and say their name. So I seen Mary and them at least knowing something or going to know something about it. So I seen Samuel L. Jackson. I seen the vision of Samuel L. Jackson. And Samuel was watching me run with a baby in me in gym shoes with a backpack, because I had been running in the spirit when they was doing the witchcraft attacks on me in the jail. Samuel L. Jackson was right there watching me running in the spirit while they were doing all the witchcraft, having all the black people in the country run after me and come after me and try to hurt me for protecting myself. And I'm pregnant, and he was watching me with a baby in me, and his mouth dropped to the floor when he seen how tiny I was, and that I was still running, and that I was still pregnant. And then that was the vision that I had of him. And God had said before I started running to the black people, he was like, y'all always running to these white people to run up behind everything that they say. He was like, but I said she was protecting herself and her son. So where do y'all get the nerve to chase her around and she pregnant? And then so I had a vision of Quincy Brown, I think that's his name is, but I know his first name Quincy. And this is Kim Porter's son, the late Kim Porter, Sean Combs' ex-wife or baby mother. And this young man, I seen him knowing something about my case, knowing something about the shooting. And the only thing the Holy Spirit really said about Quincy is he can get it because he was sexy, and he is sexy. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but it's very serious with what's going on with my case right now, and anybody that I have seen in the spirit. When I was in the jail, I saw Quincy, and so I saw him. I'm trying to figure out what his Carl, I think his name is, and this is Lil Mo husband, and I seen Lil Mo husband when I was running with the baby in me in the visions and visitations that I was seeing of Samuel L. Jackson and all the black people coming after me, and then God saying that the black people were saying, oh, the white people is mad, the white people want to kill you because you shot a white man and they trying to take his side. And then God was like, okay, but so what? She the one who was protecting herself, and she pregnant, so why y'all trying to starve her and then cover up the evidence? And then Carl was watching me run, pregnant with a little baby in me, and I had on gym shoes, and I was running like a track star, and then people were having their mouth wide open because I was so tiny and pregnant. And then I had a vision of Janet Jackson coming to me, and Janet, I was in a jail cell. They were trying to poison me, starve me, murder me before a trial for protecting myself from my white baby daddy. And I seen Janet, and she just came up to me when it was like they were trying to starve me, and it was like commissary, and they were trying to do everything to keep us from having food. And Janet had came looking good, and I was like, okay, I'm inspired because I was looking good too in the vision, and the Holy Spirit showed me looking real good too. So it was just kind of like she ain't really like take up for me or anything like that. She was just letting me know, oh, I'm Janet Jackson, and oh, I know about the shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to come and make my little appearance, and then so for everybody to be sitting back trying to stage to have me outside pregnant, you know, that's ridiculous. And so this guy is Adam Levine, or however you say his name. He's from Maroon 5, and I have some pretty quirky things about Adam. So basically, I seen Adam while I was in the Montgomery County Jail when I had to move me out of the segregated housing unit where they was trying to set me up to be killed while pregnant and starved. And they was trying to do stuff that was poisoning my trays. And I had told them to move me into the population, and they did, but they had white girls trying to set me up, and one white girl was trying to set me up, and she came to me in the vision with Adam, and they was having sex, and they was trying to like do it in my face like I was supposed to be jealous. And then God was like, oh, you just turning me on. That's all you doing is just making me horny. That's what God told me to tell him, that you just making me horny. But ain't no I gotta get jealous of you with your own kind. And then it was something about, oh, these celebrity men want to try to take Andrea and breed her up in these houses, and make her have babies up in these houses for them. And then I had a vision of Gwen Stefani, and Gwen was very wicked, because when the shooting first happened, I used to love this lady's song, but now every time I hear her song, it creeped me the hell out. Like, oh, it's my life. And I just think about how she is a witch, and she is wicked, because she came to me. These people done threatened to cut my eye out. They done threatened to molest my baby, and they all a big old coven. And so a white male got shot, and she came out the woodwork. I'm a pregnant black woman, and she back there doing witchcraft on me, giving me an evil eye, like a double take evil eye, like, oh, death on you. We gonna kill you. Death on you. And it's like I'm pregnant, and he's a convict, and he was attacking me. And God did say that I'm pregnant. He was abusing me and my son. So where you get off doing witchcraft on me? Where you get off doing the evil eye on me? Cause you white and cause I'm black, I can protect myself. Period. And ain't no you gonna set me up to be killed outside no shelters and use my own people to do it. And she is very wicked. Whew, Jesus, I had to get that off of my chest. And I'm pregnant. And they done tortured this baby and me to try to prove to me that people like Gwen Stefani don't care about pregnant black women. To keep on poisoning me for 36 months and starving us and leaving us outside. And yeah, I know you don't want people to know that you're that goddamn racist. But that's what the whole 666 covenant is about. It's about worshiping that damn beast. Worshiping white people. So I had a quick vision of Kris Kardashian. Don't remember much about Kris Kardashian other than it just seemed like she would like exercise and stay healthy. That's what she liked to do, and she was just kind of out of there. Like it wasn't even much of a visitation other than seeing her try to keep herself healthy and exercise, and she just really was just showing up just to be showing up. But I seen Dawn, and Dawn had told me in a vision that had me in a jail cell trying to keep me down with my natural hair on my head, poisoning my food and drinks, trying to set me up like I was a mental patient and could not go to the trial and tell what happened. And Dawn, Jessica Dime came to me and was like, you need to get up out this bed and do your hair because they're trying to use you being in the bed with your hair all on your head to make you look like you crazy. She was like, and you are so beautiful. And she showed me with my hair braided, looking real pretty. I look like a little Indian chick. And then she was like, your sisters is out there setting you up in the apartment with that white boy, and she was that white man. She was like, but you so beautiful. She was like, your sisters don't want you to have nobody. They were like, she was like, you can have any man you want. And then they were like, it's time for a change. And I got up and did my hair and got moved in the population. They still tried to set me up. Then I had a vision of Bruno Mars, and Bruno Mars was trying to come to me doing wickedness to me, trying to say, oh, he liked Austin. Austin was a cool dude. Okay, but God said he was abusing me and my son. So it don't matter how cool he was. This is a shooting. And it ain't got nothing to do with you, Bruno Mars. But he came doing spiritual visitation on me, trying to curse me, talking about, oh, I shot Austin and Austin was a cool dude. But you not God. You not Jehovah. You not Jesus Christ. You not the God of all creation. You not the judge or the governor of the nation. And the governor of the nation said that's a woman. She got a child in her. He was abusing her and her little boy. Period. So ain't no you gonna take Austin's side because you think he a cool dude. No, you're doing it because he's white. So anyway, I had a vision of Ice-T, and Ice-T basically had found out that I was pregnant in the jail cell. And I remember him coming to me in a vision, and they had brought me into this whole house, and they had stripper pole and everything in there. And then I was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable in here or something like that. And I was like, oh, I need to go. And when I walked out the whole house, Ice-T was sitting in the car with a little girl in his lap, or some baby, and I grabbed the baby like it was mine, and then he kissed me. So I'm sorry, Miss Coco, but that's just the visitation that I had from Ice-T was a very nice kiss. And I ain't in love with him because ain't nobody standing up for Andrea Jones. Everybody in this country gonna set me up to be killed or not speak out and pull some string for me. So I'm just telling you what took place. So Wesley Snipes, I had a vision of Wesley when I was running from a male named LaMarcus Sanders in Houston, Texas. He had spent a lot of money on me. He was in a gang I did not know, and he was trying to set me and the baby up in the house. And when I was running away from him, after I left him, I had a vision of Wesley Snipes, and I was running up out of some sort of facility, MARTA train, city, airport, everything was connected. Could be somebody for Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know, but I was running, and I had ran from LaMarcus, and I seen Wesley, and I was like, Wesley, how I get out of here? How did you get out of here? Because something about what I'm going through, Wesley might have gone through something similar. I'm not exactly sure, but he was like, basically he could not tell me which direction to take, and I ended up just running and finding my own way out of the hellhole that they had me in with the MARTA system and the trains and people trying to set me up, basically. And so I had a vision of Tasha Cobbs, and when I heard her voice, I didn't have a vision of her. This was when these black men was bringing me into this apartment at Kensington train station, the Oak Villas over here by Kensington train station on Memorial Drive, actually where I am right now. And a black man named Rob had brought me into this apartment when they would not let me in the shelter when I first came to Atlanta. I was trying to get in, and this black man had seen me at Dunwoody Perimeter Mall and was like, I got this apartment, I'm working as a maintenance man over here in Oak Villas, you can come stay up here with me. I stayed with my mom sometime, and when I went over there, it was an abandoned apartment. He told me I didn't have to have sex with him. Then he tried to force me to have sex with him. This was when I first got here, and then I didn't want to do it, and then so I fell asleep, and when I fell asleep, I heard Tasha Cobbs, and I seen somebody trying to set me up to be arrested with a little pregnant belly outside of the apartments, trying to say I was sleeping in an abandoned building. And then I got up and ran, and Tasha Cobbs was singing, and she was saying, I pray for you, and showing my little bitty stomach, like, okay, this is why they trying to set you up to be killed. And so the reason why I'm saying Tasha Cobbs, because you know something, and they still trying to do it. So anyway, this is Rob Kardashian, and I had a vision of Rob Kardashian coming to me when I was in the jail while they were trying to starve me and I was pregnant. And then I heard Rob say to me, Austin had lied to everybody and said that y'all was never in love, and said if he ever really loved you, then y'all would have had another baby. And I'm over here pregnant, and they done tortured this baby up in me, and they over here trying to make him famous and make him out to be married, torturing me across the state, trying to kill my baby and try to kill the truth about what's really going on, and try to set the white boy up to be famous. And God said that he going to jail, but because they racist and they feel like I shot him in self-defense, they don't want to put him in jail and let me go on with my life. He was abusing me and my son, and then they threatened to rape and molest my son and think they're going to set me up without ever getting my son back. And the truth is he was abusing me and I'm pregnant. And they over here trying to kill the baby and starve me out of restaurants. They closed the Taco Bell on Memorial Drive. They closed the churches. Okay, let me just go ahead and get into this because I done changed to a little Bow Wow. Okay, so this is Chad. Okay, so I think I'm hearing some gunshots or some fireworks, but either way, I don't give a damn. This is Lil Bow Wow, and I don't know how you say his whole name, but I think his last name is Moss. This Lil Bow Wow, I had visitations from him, spiritual visitation of him wanting to have trying to have sex or something like that. You know, it was like forget about her case, like forget about the fact that they trying to kill her pregnant in a jail cell and then released her with a baby inside of her. Forget, because I was doing music and it was something about Bow Wow, like doing music with people, but then end up wanting to have sex or something. So I had a vision of Hennessy, Cardi B's sister, and I already told y'all about Cardi B. And in this vision, it was so crazy because Hennessy was like, oh my goodness. First of all, let me go to Cardi B. So Cardi B was in the vision with Offset, and her hair had turned gray like a witch. Like Cardi B hair was fully gray, like she was an old witch, all underneath it all, like in her spirit. And then Offset was right there like this old warlock with Cardi B, but he didn't look as old and dragged out as she did. And then Hennessy had came out of this back room in an apartment, and there was this little bitty baby right there. And Cardi B and Offset seen the baby on the bed, and then they tried to walk off with the baby. And then Hennessy like walked out like, okay, I don't want nothing to do with it no more. And then all of a sudden, this was when I was in the jail, I believe. And then I had walked and followed Offset and Cardi B outside, and it was like trailer trash all around this little house. And they knew something about my pregnancy and about them starving me and this baby and trying to kill us in the jail. And I had a vision of Jackie Chan some point after I was released from the jail, or I had been out for a while being set up, and I had visions of them trying to take me into these apartments and set me up in apartments to be killed out of the apartments, where people would not actually be living in those buildings, but they would be basically homeless people going up in apartments and then trying to say I could come in there, and then they could get me in trouble for being in those apartments. And that's the vision that I saw Jackie Chan inside of the apartments where they was trying to set me up. And the Holy Spirit was just showing me just to run out of the apartments or whatever, and don't let them be bringing me into apartments where they claiming that they just moved in and stuff. And it was something about homeless people and food. Okay, so I had a vision of Mama D while they had me in there torturing my pregnancy, the baby that I'm still pregnant with right now, and they got somebody trying to walk over here while I'm telling. And I had a vision of her trying to tell me that she was raised in a hood where if you go this way and you go that way, it's trouble. Like, oh, I got to have some lecture from some ghetto baby mama about protecting myself and my little boy, and I'm pregnant. I don't need no goddamn lecture from a woman that couldn't come stand up for a pregnant black woman for protecting herself and a little boy. These people that took my baby and threatened to rape my little boy. Ain't no goddamn lessons to be taught other than how to fight. Now, first of all, I'm pregnant with the baby they done tortured, and they trying to set me up to be killed in Atlanta. So I tell you what I gotta say. Hold on, let me finish. I tell you what I gotta say about Mama D. So she had tried to say basically I was gonna get set up outside, and then after I had a vision of her, somebody had put me out of somebody's home and then tried to set me up to be killed on their doorstep. And God had shown me her getting sick. He had shown me her getting sick with something about, she's talking about she smoked cigarettes for all this time and something about I smoked cigarettes. But anyway, he showed me men from Hollywood trying to set me up to be shot and killed. So I had a vision of future when I had a vision of me getting out of the jail pregnant and my apartment being gone, and then people trying to set me up to be killed in high places. All my friends from Stone Mountain in Georgia trying to set me up to be killed. This was in the jail. God showed me that future would be one of the people in high places that would not be helping me, and that'll be sitting there watching, knowing I'm running around being set up to be murdered, and that his cousin Celeb that I used to do music with, his cousin Celeb was in on it, and then my sister Shakina was in on it. And back to Tyrese telling me that I would have no man to hold me again, that they would set me up so bad outside to where I would be cold, and I was pregnant on outside cold with this baby at bus stops and everything like that. But they worshiping white people, and he worshiping the devil, and they worshiping Satan, and thinking that it's not okay for a pregnant black woman to protect herself, and then setting me up outside talking about you gonna punish me for protecting myself, and I'm gonna get help, and I'm gonna tell who all setting me up to be murdered outside, because that's disgusting for somebody to say because you was protecting yourself from a white man, and God said let her go, that we gonna all set you up outside to be cold. And then you know what, Jehovah my God have been with me, and he have been more man to me than any of y'all man could ever be to me. He more well than